Hey guys, Tanner from Alpha Tree Service. I just wanted to make this really quick, short video on some tips and tricks to prolong the life of your chainsaw. In this video, I'm going to be changing out the air filter and the spark plug. This is going to be fairly inexpensive, around $13 in parts, and probably about 5 minutes or so of your time. If you were to go and get a tune-up from a small engine place, it might run you about $60. So I figured this would be a nice video just to show you how easy it is to do so and how inexpensive it is. And one thing that I want to show you is you're only going to need one tool, and this actually comes with the chainsaw. This is called a scrunch. The reason why they call it a scrunch is because it is a screwdriver and a wrench. Scrunch. I don't know if that's a trade name or if that's actually like the true name of this, right? But I thought that's kind of cool. So we'll get right into it. Like I said, changing out the spark plug and the air filter. Easy. Okay, so coming back over to the chainsaw, like I said, we're going to be changing out the air filter. Very inexpensive. I know you can blow out air filters, but this is, like I said, this is just for the average guy. Buy this on Amazon, buy it from a small engine repair place. Just make sure that you're buying the correct air filter and spark plug, you know, for your chainsaw. So we'll get right into it. Like I said, this takes no time at all. It's going to save you a bunch of money and hassle. It's going to make sure that your chainsaw starts up, runs good every time. So what's going to happen here is every single chainsaw has this cover on. You're going to take your scrunch and you're actually just going to pop those. It's actually we'll slide, take the cover off, and this is where you're going to find your air filter and your spark plug. So we're just going to take the air filter, and you can just see, I mean, I'm only using 2 fingers. Don't ever force anything. It should be very easy to do. So about a quarter turn, and then it pulls off just like that. So you can see you kind of get all that build up and everything on there. You can take the time to clear that out. It's always good to have a few of these on hand. And it's very easy to replace, like I said. Make sure that you're not getting a bunch of gunk and everything in here. You know, usually you'd take your time and kind of clean all this stuff up, but for the sake of the video, I think you get the point. This should be very easy to do. Do not force anything at all, because there's plastic stuff here. Things can break. Just don't force anything. So what you should be able to do is, if you line it up correctly and you put a little bit of pressure forward, and I'm just using, you know, honestly, I'm just using 2 fingers, and you can see it'll seat. You hear that click? It'll seat. So that's done. Air filter done. Check. What you're going to do here is there's a wire here that's actually a little cap that's over the end of the spark plug, and you're going to pull that off. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. You might have to twist it a little bit, you know, left and right, or wiggle it, or work it out. But here's what's amazing. You only need one tool to do this job, and this is the scrunch. So what you're going to do is, you know, this bigger side of the scrunch is actually going to take the spark plug out. So go ahead and put that in there, right? And turn it to the left. Shouldn't be that tight. You just got to break it loose, and you should be able to then come in with your fingers and actually twist the spark plug out. You know, I'm not going to get into anything as far as the gap in the electrode on the spark plug or buildup or anything like that. New spark plug, very easy. I'm going to first go in, make sure you do not cross thread. So make sure that this is going in easy. I mean, this is nothing that you want to force necessarily. This should be fairly easy. This is just 2 fingers just screwing this to the right. And eventually I'm going to get to the point where it gets a little bit tight. I'm going to take my scrunch back in. Now, an important part here is you can see I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this. Okay? It just needs to be seated. You don't want to over crank on this or do anything crazy. You don't want to break, you know, you don't want to break it. It's very delicate. You don't want to break it. After you do that, just go ahead and take this and pop this back on. There's actually, it actually just kind of nestles in there. There's some grooves on here. You'll feel it click. You'll even hear it click. Let's see if you hear it. Oh, maybe not. But you'll feel it nice and seated. You're going to actually take the cover, put it back on. Right turn. Right turn. There you go. Filter changed, spark plug changed. You're ready to go. I just want to thank you for watching and let you know that I'm going to be making more videos like this. So if you found it helpful, go ahead and like the page, follow the page. One other thing that I just want to talk about here is if you don't use your chainsaw, you know, every single day, or if it sits for a few months at a time, I would highly recommend using some sort of pre-mix gasoline. So Steel has a brand called Moto Mix, and Husqvarna also has something similar. Husqvarna, I think, is a little bit cheaper per fluid ounce. And if you actually go on Amazon, Husqvarna has, I think, a container that is 112 fluid ounces, which would get you about 7 tanks of gas in your chainsaw for $40. So 7 tanks in your chainsaw should be about 7 hours of runtime, which should be more than enough for the average guy. I know that it's a little bit more money, but there's some benefits to it. For example, there's you can leave that fuel in your chainsaw for up to 2 years, and it's not going to start to break down and gunk up your carburetor, because there's always a little bit of gas that sits in there. So, you know, like I said, the gas that you're going to buy and you're mixing it you know, from the gas station, and you're mixing with the little 2-stroke oil, you know, that's going to break down probably about, you know, 2-3 months of sitting in the chainsaw and cause a lot of issues. So it's really terrible to have a tool sitting there on your shelf and you only need it a few times, and the time that you go to grab it and you really do need it to cut some wood or do whatever, it doesn't start. So it sucks really bad when you're sitting there cranking on a chainsaw and it doesn't start. So I'm trying to keep you proactive instead of reactive. So that's just a little, I guess, my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. I would definitely recommend having the premix. Like I said, Tanner Alpha Tree Service. Thanks for watching.